Hi, I'm Shannon, and welcome to my channel. I have been so curious about the House of IRFE. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it is a French house that has put out 5 new perfumes. So I'm going to share with you my initial thoughts. I have smelled these just as of yesterday, but that's what I'm going to share with you. So let's get into it. On the IRFE website, you can order this lovely little discovery set, and it comes with 5 3 ml perfume samples. So, some of these were new to me. I have already tried the Marshmallow Musk, so that one I had smelled before, but let's start with that one. So, the first scent I want to talk about is Marshmallow Musk, and this is the first one that got me onto the house because it was the one that was maybe it's the most popular one. It's essentially a fluffy gourmand marshmallow scent. Now, just to kind of give you baseline, these perfumes are not cheap. They're 50 ml and I think they run like 285. So for me, I'm like, okay, for a fluffy marshmallow musk, like that seems a little spendy. So just bear with me because it is a very, very nice. So let me get this little sample out. So here's a 3 ml, really cute. I'm just going to spray this on the tester. And I actually first had a sample from Scentbird. So this is, like I said, not my first experience with the scent, but I'm just going to take a little sniff here. Okay, so let me tell you that this musk is so well done. And I think it's the execution that sets these apart. This is a very romantic scent. So this is a woman who's outside in the fresh air and there's wind blowing in her hair and she's just smelling these beautiful white flowers. That's kind of the imagery that I get here. And, she's a dreamer. It's sort of this cloud-like fantasy, just absolutely kind of ethereal marshmallow scent. So it's really lovely scent. Some of the notes here are magnolia petals, there's Earl Grey, lavender at the top. Then at the mid, you get that marshmallow, jasmine, and iris. And then the base is a musk, some powdery notes, vanilla, and woodsy notes. So this is a very familiar scent. And I think for me, that makes it very comforting in a way. It's extremely addictive because there are some kind of notes in here that make it pop. I think some of the florals do, the iris, there's that Earl Grey note. So it is very, very well done. So, spoiler alert, I did go ahead and get a full bottle of this. I think it's very well executed, not to mention that I did find that my previous sample that I used, I had pretty good longevity with it. So I'm really a big fan of that one. I can see why that one is getting hyped because it is very good. Now, if you like the sound of that, but you don't like the price tag of that, I would suggest this is Musky Marshmallow. So not Marshmallow Musk, but this is Musky Marshmallow and it's from the Dua brand. And I can vouch for this. Now, this is sold out on their website right now. I was able to pick this up on Mercari for probably double the price it was supposed to be. But this is a very good dupe. So this is basically the same scent profile, but what I don't get from this as much is it's not as powdery. It's not as like deep and rich of a scent, but it has all the same like kind of feel to it. It has very much the same feel to it. It's meant to be a dupe. So check on Mercari. Maybe though, I'm sure because this is sold out, that means it's a bestseller and they're going to restock it eventually. So keep your eye out for this. This is a great alternative. Next up, we have Centifolia Rose. Now, this is to me, when I think of the scent, I think of a playful woman in a sundress. Now, that's not the brand imagery. That is not what they were going for. This is a floral, it's obviously a rose perfume, but there are some fruity notes in here. There's pear, there's pink pepper at the top, there's some neroli and orris in here, there's some white musk and cedar. So it does have a little bit of woodiness, some muskiness in here with that rose. It's very beautiful. It reminds me of something. And I think we've all seen rose done so many times, but it is funny to me because I kind of think of this like innocence, this young girl in like a sundress. But one of the things they've done with this launch of perfumes is there's sort of a persona attached to each of the perfumes. Now, this one, which is not where my mind goes, but this one is red dress femme fatale. She is like red dress as in like backless dress. She is just glamorous head to toe, stunning. She might even be just like kind of all out, like I don't care, barefoot in a gown, like that kind of vibe. So I thought that was interesting, like embodying femininity and power and I think the color red sort of evokes that. So the bottle is red. I guess it matches the scent and the vibe that they were going for. I will say this is a complex rose. It's not boring. I get some innocence from it, but I can see the sort of powerful woman wearing this scent. Like I said, a complex rose. It's very good. I love rose perfumes, but I already have quite a few in my collection, and this actually slightly reminds me of Damask by Ormond Jane. So I didn't feel like I needed to add this to my collection, but if you are a rose lover, this is very lovely. I would check it out. Up next, we have Smoldering Pepper. Now, this is the second most hyped perfume in this line, and I was very curious to smell this one because when you look at the notes, which is the profile is a fresh, spicy oud. Now, at the top, you have black pepper, you've got olibanum, saffron in the mid, you've got cypriol, patchouli, labdanum, oud, leather, and then a bourbon vanilla in the base. So I'm not seeing a lot of feminine leaning notes in there, which is okay. Like, I'm all about a unisex fragrance, but some of those kind of scared me and I know can go wrong like pretty easily. So I was very shocked at how much I like this. And not even like it's extremely niche. It's very addictive and super, super sexy without being, you know, like this is not a juvenile scent. This is a grown woman who is confident that is wearing this scent. And the imagery for this one, which I think is very on point, is this it's a very sexy, sensual woman, and she's walking, she's wearing very chic clothing. She's very Kate Moss. I mean, you're just like, I want to be her. She looks amazing. Very confident woman. She's probably wearing like black leather or something very, very bold. So, yeah, this scent is beautiful. I'm a big fan. I think it's done incredibly well for the note structure here. I am really blown away. So if you're a woman and you like scents that are, I would say unisex leaning, but even if you like something like the Harmonious, like Hypnotizing Fire, this is on that sort of spectrum, but it's not quite as sweet. So if you like those kind of bold, spicy, intriguing scents, if you find those sexy, then I would say definitely check this one out. This one was a full bottle too, so I'm a big fan. That one was a hit for me, and so check it out if that sounds interesting at all. You know that they had to throw a patchouli fragrance in here because that's just what brands do. Now, this one is called Patchouli Forever Worn. Now, this is categorized as an ambery, woody patchouli, and I do get that. Now, this is again something that when I see the notes reads very masculine, but I would say is very unisex. So you've got in here tobacco, Divana, honey at the top. You've got clear wood, not sure, some type of wood. You've got amber, blue lavender. You have cedarwood, patchouli, and sandalwood in the base. So this is another very bold scent. Now, this is one, and I was playing around with this yesterday, and my first impression was like, wow, I really like this patchouli. Now, I'm going to spray this because I really enjoy the opening of this. So I'm just gonna smell the opening and then we'll get into what happens after the opening goes away. So the opening again is that tobacco, it's Divana and honey. So the opening of this reminds me of something. It reminds me of a perfume and I like can't quite put my finger on it. It will come to me eventually, and if you know and if you smelled this, please let me know. But I am going to, and I did this yesterday. I actually wore this all day yesterday. And I wore it today because I think I wanted the mid and the dry down, or mostly the dry down, to be different. So the opening actually comes off a little bit like zingy and uplifting. Now, what happens for me as I wear the perfume, the dry down becomes a little bit like animalic, and I think it's the honey in here. So it still smells it still smells fine right now. But I think as I continue to wear this perfume, I think there's something, and I don't know, I'm like looking at the notes and I'm like, I think it might be the honey mixed with that patchouli. There's something in here that I'm not sure about. Like, I'm not sure that I like. Now, let's rewind and let's talk about kind of what the intention behind this perfume was. I also want to highlight this perfume was done by Frank Vocal. So we know he did Santal 33. He was responsible for, let's see, a bunch of other Le Labo fragrances. He did the Glossier series. He also did Casablanca by House of Beau. So ultimate master perfumer, cannot, you can't get much better than that. So the brand imagery for this one is, yes, yet again, another bold and confident woman, which I love. Now this lady, she likes gold. She is wearing a gold dress. It's very slinky. It's very sophisticated. And she kind of just doesn't care. Like, she is in her own element. She probably is like head to toe couture and like eating a bag of potato chips just because she can. And she's like, that makeup look which I can't pull off, where like the eyeshadow's like out to here. Very, I don't want to say avant, very high end fashion, like very editorial. Thank you. Yes, very editorial. That is her. And I would say, I think because this entire line is done by a model, it's a very editorial lineup. Like, these are very edgy women. So I love that. I love that kind of borderline unisex and just women kind of in their full confident self. I absolutely love what the brand is doing. Now, I did end up getting a full bottle of this because yesterday when I tried it, I was blown away by the opening. I was like, this is such a good patchouli. I really like this. And I also got a very good deal on these. I got 25% off. And so I would say, if you're sampling these or you're interested, they did a Valentine's Day 25% off. So to me, that says if there's another holiday or some special, they're probably going to run that again. So maybe just hold off, wait for them to do 25% off. Anyways, I'm hoping that the dry down of Patchouli Forever Worn, I'm very much hoping that it grows on me. For right now, it's a like, but jury is still out. So honest opinion here, let you guys know. But if you're a patchouli lover and you love honey, this could be your dream. So I have to tell you, this last perfume shocked me more than any of these other ones. And I'm talking about Saffron Leather. Now, this is an aromatic leather perfume. And from the title, anything that typically has leather like straight up in the name, I'm like, I'm not going to like that, because I like Cuir Beluga. I like very suede stuff. Like, I don't do just like full on leather. But this is so smooth. It is so incredibly smooth. Now, you've got at the top cassis, cinnamon, petitgrain, and bergamot. So you've got brightness at the opening. In the mid, you've got violet, smoke, saffron, and then you have some rose, and then at the base you finally got that leather, there's cedar, and then there's sandalwood. So my suspicion with this one is that some of those, like petitgrain and bergamot, it's providing some bitterness to the scent. And then you also have violet, saffron, so and a tiny touch of floral. So you're getting other things that help balance this leather and saffron and cedar, which are just like, oh, you guys are, that's aggressive. Come at me with that. So let me just smell this because it is very intriguing. It's a very intriguing scent. Like the woman wearing this, the imagery I got with this is very much, she is a woman, she's smoking a cigarette, you know, she's wearing a men's tailored suit, impeccable, but she's also wearing really impressive diamonds like everywhere. There's smoke, there's wood, there's leather, like this really feminine edge with this like masculine, you know, tailored sort of, like she's covered head to toe, but she's incredibly sexy, incredibly confident. And I think of Parisian chic when I think of that, like being able to pull that off. And I love a woman. I love this scent for a woman. I think it is very bold, very confident. Yeah, it's amazing. So the way they call this also is tuxedo lady, and I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. That makes sense. What I get from this, like to round out, like what does this smell like? This is green. So there's a greenness from the cassis and the petitgrain. It's earthy, it's uplifting with the violet and intriguing with like the leather and the smoke. And then there's a little bit of woods to kind of round it out. It's actually kind of interesting. It's not the same scent profile at all, but there are some similar touches to it's Who is Elijah and it's Morning After, because that one also has violet, leather. That one's a freshie, but I would almost say that's like the counterpart to this. So if you put your nose on this and you want like, oh, what would a freshie version, that could be something to check out too. Now, I did not pick up a full bottle of Saffron Leather, and I might be kicking myself for that because I'm kind of shocked to say, but 4 out of the 5, I am super, super big fan. Now, I'm not that shocked that the rose perfume for me was like, yeah, it's nice, but I don't need it. That's not the scent profile that I typically gravitate toward. I like the bold, interesting sort of unisex type of profile. So it makes sense. It makes sense that the rest of those were definitely up my alley. And Marshmallow Musk for me checks the little bit of like gourmand box. So I really enjoyed that one as well. All that to be said, I'm really impressed with this line. I'm a big fan of all of these. I think they're all very well done. I think the brand has done a great job. The only thing I'm just a little hung up about is the price tag. I mean, I think for 50 ml, almost $300 is just very spendy. I do think it's worth waiting for a sale with these. You know, getting 25% off is pretty much a game changer. So if you're curious, check out the Discovery set. I will have, my bottles are on the way, so I wasn't able to feature them here, but I will definitely be referencing them, and I will show you the cute little bottles when they come in a future video. I hope you enjoyed my fragrance review of the 5 new launches from IRFE. Let me know in the comments if you've tried these. I'd love to know your thoughts. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back for another video soon.